they don't have a big enough lead into Shen. They don't deal damage to Shen.
Yeah, but Aurelia, I believe, is a fighter who can actually not only deal with Shen in the lane with her perma-sustain, but she can actually solo kill the Shen. You have to do a bit of dancing around the Shen W in order to solo kill him. There's two ways to do that. You could either bait it out. If Callistus misuses his W, he'll open himself up to an Aurelia all-in. Or if Aurelia outplays it, get onto Shen, make him use his W, then jump around the minions, heal up his trade damage, go back onto him when Shen W's down. I think Aurelia is a good pick in a Shen, a champ that can actually solo kill him and prove to have like that counter pick value.
All right, well, immediately we see them fan out in a classic 5-point. Looks like neither team really feels comfortable taking a risk here, which makes sense. If you're Miami, you don't want to face check a Morgue Q, and if you're St. Ed's, you don't want to walk into a Tom Kench, in my opinion. Tom Kench Senna, they will just neutralize it anyways. If they end up finding a pick, Tom Kench will cancel it out, or they can just walk into a Senna W, force her to start a spell, but it just doesn't really matter, especially when you're mid-bot side and both teams are just looking to scale.
Yeah.
What's the point? Why is it worth the risk?
Yep. And I'm looking at possibly Jarvan here as the first initiator of any action. If anyone is going to make a play, it's him on that level 2. So we'll have to see if that's what he looks for as he starts blue with the help of his bot lane, and Sejuani starting red, so we have mirrored jungle paths. So I wonder if they will meet at the top crab.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Some junglers opt for the full clear, going right to Krugs when they start red here, and it looks like Sejuani is choosing to do that. J4 does Gromp, so it may just be double full clear. We have yet to see. I believe Sej is, at this point, when you do Krugs this early, you're usually committed to the full clear. J4 still has some flexibility here. Potentially, we may see Sej walk from bot to top, do her clear, and go right back down the bot Scuttle Crab, because I don't think she can contest top Scuttle Crab when Aurelia is going to have priority here. And I do think that Victor can probably secure priority mid early over Rise as well. So I think Sej will probably have to go for bot Crab, and if she does choose to go top here, it could be very risky.
And it does look like Victor will have the prio, and Jarvan will continue top. Yeah,
so he did opt not to do the full clear where Sej is, because like as we mentioned, when you go red to Krugs, you're full clearing.
Yeah, you're at least getting the bot 3 red camps, and on Sejuani, a champ who is happy to full clear, we might see them run into each other at the blue buff here.
Yep. So jumps over the wall, finds Jarvan, throws out the Q, it misses. Jarvan pops his shield. Doesn't block any damage, actually. Sej gets a ton of damage off him, smites the heal, EQ's out, not very far. I want to see a flash taunt. It connects first blood over to St. Ed's on the Shen. Force the Aurelia flash. Rise flashes after. She's trying to trade here before she dies, but she gets locked up by Sejuani. Wow. That was very good.
Yeah, so the flash is being used from Shen to pick up the kill on Jarvan, and then the flash from Rise being used to pick up the kill on Aurelia. This is almost best case scenario. You have a kill on not only your Shen, but your Rise here, getting them going early, and it started because of an invade onto blue where Sej just happened to kind of plant right over.
she popped on over.
Caught him with his hand in the cookie jar, and a great punish out of St. Edward's here. So 2-kill lead and 1K gold already.
That's awesome. I think if you're Miami, especially Jarvan, if you're looking for that invade, you cannot invade like that with that HP. That shows me that he did not clear correctly, he did not kite correctly, maybe he did, maybe the camp route he took was incorrect, because either way, he went through that invade way too low.
And on stream, okay. Never mind, sorry about that.
And, well, after that nice bit of action, we're back into farm stasis here. Shen does have double buffs pushing into top side. We do see J4. He is shoved up. I would expect, since Shen hasn't bought yet, he's looking to recall the moment this goes in.
Yeah, and Blue Wave second towards bot, but actually Senna will go ahead and trim that. And I think you're right about the back and forth farming with these bot lanes. So eyes back on Jarvan for the action.
Yeah, he is going to bot side here. He just cleared his full top side. Shen opted to stay. I know it's a a little odd in my opinion. I think that's kind of risky, given that you have, you just had the enemy jungler die. You have no idea where he's going to be. You haven't spent your gold yet, and the lane is really far up, and you're flashless. I think he probably should have reset, but it worked out because Jarvan and it was pathing bot anyways. Jarvan secures himself a crab. Blue side is pushing, so St. Ed's is in a position to be ganked. I think they spot out Jarvan though.
Yeah, I think it's hard for Shen to get a good recall on Aurelia because she can thin the waves so effectively, and while she thins the wave, she builds stacks and becomes very scary.
Oh, yeah, you get forced off. But if you're Shen, you can recall, take a bad recall, TP back. You have ulti. He's about to be level 6. It doesn't really matter if there's a TP advantage because, again, it's Shen.
Yeah, that's a great point
like our
there.
client froze here. Oh, there may have been a pause. I believe Spectator doesn't show pauses. Or does it? I believe... Is it good over here? Yeah, our client froze on us. Give us a moment. All right, we're good to go. Sorry about that. All right, so we're back in it.
Is that zoomed in at all? Looks a bit zoomed in.
Zoomed in? Yeah, you can take a look. No, it is set to 60. A fight breaks out bot lane. Sedge is waiting in the bush and saves her ADC's life. That looks a little grim for St. Edward's there, but they walk away. Jarvan looks like he's starting the dragon, knowing that bot lane on St. Ed's side cannot contest. They were chunked out, and they're going to have to reset, so that's going to be a free dragon take.
Yeah, I like this usage of time from Jarvan a bit better than Sejuani here. It looks like Sedge wanted a lane gank, maybe looking for a counter gank, but instead of looking for the kills here, Jarvan just takes straight Seg. So good job from Humor here to focus on the objective. Meanwhile, Sejuani, pretty good cover there for her bot lane.
Yeah,
but
came
Miami
right when they
winning
needed
out
it.
on the play. And there's the Shen TP you're talking about here. No big deal. You can TP at any time back to lane because you still have the Stand United to have that global map presence. Okay, and this is a much better angle for us here.
Absolutely.
We see top lane.
Went right back. Yep. I know why. Alright, we should be good for the rest of the game, guys. Sorry about that. I figured out what was causing it when it happened.
No worries. We are back to our preferred field of view where we can watch farming going on from a greater distance, and that's what
Absolutely.
we
Mid bot lane, they just want to scale all day. There was a little bit of action, but Sedge bailed them out. They're back to farming again. Shen does have access to Stand United, so I think blue side is very safe despite taking that really bad trade not too long ago. They are freezing, but again, they're more or less safe. They don't have to worry too much.
And I want to say Miami here, I think, just closed the goal gap with farm. That St. Ed's was able to build with the kills with a 32 CS lead mid and also about 15 in the top. And as we see the Aurelia all in, here comes...
All's in. Ult's on. Q's on to Shen. He flashes over the wall, but it doesn't matter. She flashes right after, gets auto team that off, and he dies. And going back to what you were mentioning with the farm, there is 2 kills on St. Ed's side. Doesn't matter. Bot lane is up 20 CS. Mid lane is up 30.
Yeah.
The gold is it was even with that solo kill top side. It is now Miami favored.
Yeah, so Aurelia able to convert on that matchup that we talked about. It is possible for Aurelia to solo kill the Shen. The Shen has to be very careful where he's walking, not to get tagged up by the E. She can follow the E up with a Q, wait the Shen W out that blocks autos, and then if Shen is still in R range, the R follow-up is, death for Shen.
Yeah, especially when you're that far up in lane, it's very risky. We did see a blue handoff over to Rise, so he's able to stick in lane here despite being very low mana. Like I said, you want to clear out a pink ward spotted in top pixel brush. Tom has moved up to clear a St. Ed's pink ward as well in the mid-bottom side. So you see Miami 80 on a reset. Jarvan's moving up. Victor does have priority, so it is safe for him to do this, but Victor walks straight bot side, so this is a little awkward of an invade, but doesn't look like it's going to be punished. You see J4 wrapping up. Shen looks like he appears to be pushing the lane here, and is very vulnerable for the gank. He does have his gank side covered, and we do see Jarvan opt to start the Herald. He does have mid priority. Rise was forced to reset. St. Ed's does have top priority, and they could spot it out, but it looks like Aurelia is all in the Shen. He taunts out for safety. The stun does connect. Aurelia does not have ulti, and so it's not a kill.
Yeah, so without the R, Shen a bit more safe, but if you're Shen, that's something you don't want to happen too often. It's a bit scary of a situation here. Understanding that Aurelia was able to get Cutlass and Merc Treads into Shen and Sejuani. You already have healing and you have tenacity. It's you're going to take a heads up 1v1 or 2v2 if you're Aurelia and probably come out on top in the mid game. Her weakness comes in the 5v5 situation where she can just get chainlock CC'd from St. Edwards and then go down immediately.
Absolutely, but with these leads that Lucent seems to be getting consistently now, it won't matter. You won't have to team fight with the side lane. We do see a potential dive happening. Aurelia all connects, EQ connects, QQ, and it looks like to be almost cleaned. I think J4 dies here. Nope, he does get a craft rock. Another tower shot. Yes, he does go down. A little sloppy of a fight. It looks like they wanted to save as many spells as possible. Realm Warp comes in from the Rise. They're looking to trade the Aurelia, but it appears she does get out.
Yeah, so a big commit here with the ultimates and the 2v1. Oh, as
you have a
replay,
so we need to see it again. So I think if you are Miami in this early game, you blow everything to make this work. R, EQ, immediate J4R. Don't give them any time. Drop the wall the moment they die. Walk out. A little bit of hesitation. Takes one more tower shot than he should have and dies. We do see the Realm Warp come back in here, but it doesn't mean anything.
I agree.
A fight's happening mid lane. We got Sejuani engage onto Victor. Victor flashes out but gets stunned. Immediately cleanses it, trying to chase the Sejuani back out. Jarvan has a ride. EQ's on the Rise and he flashes out.
Yeah, so great usage of summoner spells from Chang Yun to cleanse that gank out, and also from Geschicht to go ahead and flash that Jarvan EQ so that there's not an immediate answer. But when your gank doesn't hit on Chang Yun and he has a bounty from Just Farm, you need to revisit while his cleanse is down, while his flash is down, with that Sejuani, get that bounty in Rise's pocket. He's already 2-0, but he's down 30 farm. If you get him that bounty, Geschicht will be in a position where he can carry this game with his DPS.
Yeah, it neutralizes the mid gap right now. It makes things a little even despite that farm advantage. But St. Ed's initiated that. It got turned around on them, and that means another dragon goes towards Miami.
Yeah, and we talked about dragons before the game started. Just such a clear way to win the game, and we're looking at what's the soul. We see the Instagram filter come over the map. And is that a mountain soul filter? Or nope, can't be mountain. It's either Inferno or Cloud.
Yep, we will see. It looks like it's Cloud. I don't see the terrain destroyed. I could be incorrect, but it looks like it is Cloud. I do see the movement rings. It looks like it is Cloud.
You do? Okay, so
we do see a fight breaking out top lane. Shen trades an auto. It actually comes out a little on head, but it doesn't really matter. It really does have.
Okay, and I've just been informed we can see which Drake Soul it is as Drake number 2 goes down immediately with the little HUD above the minimap here for us. So it will be a Cloud Drake, and that's up in 406. So we'll have to see if Miami is going to return and prioritize that. But Cloud Soul, what do you think? It's the least impactful?
Yes, but I do think on St. Ed's side, it's very impactful for them. Their pick comp, very ulti reliant. If they can somehow start getting Dragon secure, it'll be pretty big for them. Herald is called in mid lane. They're looking to crash it, get some plates before plates drop in 5 seconds. All in top lane, Aurelia's attempting to dive the Shen. It doesn't look like he can do too much about it. She's forced to flash out. Looked a little sloppy, and she does die. I think going back in for the Qs there was very greedy. She flashed out, didn't drop tower aggro. You keep walking away. I think a little bit of a rush was going there with that dive play and didn't realize that, she never dropped tower aggro.
Yeah, we could take another look here. I do think it was a bit fumbled, but great effort almost getting out, hopping on these minions and healing, but not quite enough.
At this point, Herald's off the map. We've got a minute and a half till the next one. We got 3 minutes till Dragon. We're back in farm mode. Sejuani is posturing to look for something here, but I don't know if Rise is strong enough to step up quite yet. He's still scaling. He does have Rod now.
Yeah, Rise with Rod is really nice to see if you're St. Edwards, but is this Victor just a looming death
And
wish?
engage happens on mid lane here. Melee stun in the Rowdy field, but he can't really follow up quite yet. Shenalty comes in to guarantee nothing is traded. It didn't look like it really mattered, but you gotta be safe, especially in early phases of the game. Every play you make needs to work, so you have a lead to work with. You don't want to be complacent. We saw that on Miami's side with the fumble top dive.
Yeah, exactly. It reminds me of you saying just Jarvan ult right away. It's almost like St. Ed's kind of heard you there and just said, everybody hit R on this Victor. We need that bounty, and we don't want him farming mid.
Stun hits to cancel out a further trade. She goes back in, jumps around, shows off her mechanics. Nothing happens.
Yeah, so that's a bit of the story of Aurelia here, at least when I play her. I focus more on jumping around to minions and less about not dying. And if you get caught by one CC ability, you probably will go down, but we see an early Wit's End coming in for her. She might actually be hard to take down with all the healing you get out of that item. And Lucen already displaying, he's comfortable enough on this champion to get a nice team fight out where Aurelia capable of something like a triple kill or a quadruple kill in the mid-game fight. And with this Drake's Soul win condition piling up for St. Edwards, Aurelia might find her in a situation where St. Ed's needs to show up for a fight while she's on a 2-item spike, like a soul fight, for example.
Yep. If she's strong enough, she can definitely team fight. I don't see anyone being able to kill her when she gets Wit's End other than Ashe, and I don't think Ashe will be able to actually kill her for a while.
Yeah, what I would tell my team is once that Wit's End is completed, do not fight her until we have Grievous on her. So whether that's Ashe picking up an Executioner's or we do see Bramble in for Shen, but that's not reliable enough because Aurelia does not want to hit Shen in team fights. She wants to dive the backline. So until Ashe gets an Executioner's or Rise gets a Morellonomicon, I don't think you want to get baited into trying to DPS an Aurelia who could perma-heal team fights in the mid-game on 2-item spike.
First tower was taken bot lane. They rotated their bot laners mid to continue farming and pushing in while our scaling mid laners are now side laning. Mid lane is also looking pretty low, as is top. More towers should fall at any moment. We do have third dragon spawning. Miami is in a very aggressive position here, so they do have control over Pit at this time. An engage happens mid lane onto Senna. They're trying to make something happen before this dragon goes down.
Seth is solo, but has Shen ulti.
Again, they want to make sure it works, right? They commit, but there wasn't a quick follow-up. Immediate J4 ulti this time. Both flash out. Kind of delayed here. Rise tries to turn it around. Taunt misses. Flashed out to dodge. Another stun hits on the Victor, and he cleanses right away.
Yeah, Summoner's being used from multiple members here, but no one down yet.
Back in. Right on the Shenny. He just drops right away. Doesn't matter if a Morgana bind, it connects. And this is another dragon over to the side of Miami. A TP comes through on Rise top side to deny a tower trade, and they lose mid at the same time. So a lot of things happening at once here. Unfortunately, it looks like St. Ed's is bleeding quite a bit.
Yeah, one important thing to note, the flash down on Ashe and Rise now, so while that play did not look great for St. Ed's, I think the next one will look even worse if I'm being completely honest. Third Drake going down for Miami. It's a ticking time bomb now before that soul comes in, and your Ashe and Rise, the flashes will just be coming up, which means Miami can look for a play as the Drake is going to spawn where Jarvan Cataclysm on one of those flashless carries could mean a pretty easy pickup leading into a Drake Soul.
Absolutely. You always take those kind of trades, right? Even if it's a somewhat bad play, if it guarantees a better play later, that's huge. Getting both carry flashes down, they could fight before Soul.
Yeah.
And they know that if a Cataclysm lands on 2 carries again like it did last time, they have no way out.
Yep.
They will die, especially if Victor is nearby. So even if J4 died there and nothing came of it, it's worth it.
And you know what? We're taking a look at sort of the end of the play, and that's my bad there, but we could see the Shen pick up again. As we see just a bit out of position.
Yeah, this dies right away. It doesn't really matter. The
damage.
Cataclysm, I believe, already passed at this point.
Yep, I just think the flashless carries.
It's huge. Aurelia finds Shen here. I don't think it really matters. He flashes the ulti. She flashes right after, and that's just that. He cannot match Aurelia anymore at this point in the game. He has to make things happen with his team. He cannot be stuck in a side lane because he's just going to die. She already tried to dive him with less of an advantage, and it worked, and now she has a huge advantage. She could probably dive him if she gets a little bit of poke off for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think Shen's strategy there was just flashing the R and hoping that could be his adaptation to save him. But Aurelia just following with flash. And we talked about the 2-item spike for her, making her insanely powerful in the side lane here, causing the pressure that allows players like Humor to kind of invade across the map. And not only that, but bring mid-wave up and get hits on a turret with that Shen down and the pressure from Aurelia.
If all tier 1s are down, they're one off Soul, and they have scaling in mid and bot lane, they're going to be golden.
We're watching the solo play here. Just really nice stuff out of Lucen again here. Isolating that Shen matchup and getting the kill there.
And we talked about how Shen's normally picked as a neutralizer, right? And unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's really neutralizing this game, they lost one kind of smaller win condition. That's fine. They still have pick and they still have rise.
Yeah.
So they do have tools to work with. It's just it's very hard when the enemy mid and bot lane also has hyperscaling on their side as well.
Yeah, I think the Victor Senna just quietly that Aurelia's insurance plan here. In case anything goes awry for her, she could just fall back on the scaling of Victor Senna. So she feels free to play aggressive, look for those 1v1s in the side lane, and if it doesn't work out, that's a different story because it is working out, so we don't even have to worry about that. If you are St. Edwards, on the other hand, you need to CC lock this Aurelia and get that bounty. She's actually not a hard champion to deal with in the 5v5 unless she's on a really nice flank.
And Rise should be able to kill her too. Despite having the Wit's End, once he hits 3-4 items, I expect a Void Staff at some point, if not third, fourth. He will be able to melt her because her W doesn't block magic damage anymore. She does have a little bit of MR in Wit's End and Merc Treads, but when you're looking at a level 16 Rise with maybe a Deathcap Void Staff with a huge increase from his passive, you'll just kill her as long as she's CC'd. But then you still have Tom to worry about. So they have to figure out a way to recognize where Tom is in relation to the play they're trying to execute and make it work.
Yeah, and Tom picking up that QSS, so it looks like multiple CC spells going to have to come through at the right place at the right time in order to CC lock a really important member from Miami. So that QSS on Tom, along with the just huge farm numbers coming out of Senna and Victor, kind of
perfect. Even topside. Topside actually has more. We do see a fight breaking out. Senna W doesn't connect anything to the Black Shield. Cedric goes all her CC right onto J4. He gets eaten by Tom. Senna's forced to flash out. They're chasing on Tom. Tom connects. He flashes out too. Big Cataclysm onto 3 members of the team. They get one flash out, but it looks like ultimately a Miami win.
Yeah, and I think the combo that we saw there do a ton of work was the Jarvan Cataclysm along with the Victor R just that AoE. Yeah, great effort by St. Ed's. You get the Senna, you get her flash, her cleanse, you get Tahm Kench flash, you get Tahm Kench QSS. These things are all great, but eventually you travel a little bit too far. Humor with the Cataclysm and Changyun with the nasty follow-up right after he completes Leandri's just means your entire team dies.
Yep, and both carries had flash at that fight too. Actually, Ashe died with flash up, and Ryze used flash as well.
So as Baron goes down, we're going to take a look at this fight one more time.
So Senna's forced to flash out right away here. Tom did consume J4 just before this. He flashes too, though. Every time St. Ed thinks they're going to get a trade here, a flash comes through. A consume comes through from Tom, and they just keep getting baited further and further until it's too late, and Miami's able to turn it around.
Yeah, so to me, this could show a lack of summoner spell tracking. If you are committing your entire comp into one corridor, you need to have tabs on those summoner spells that are just get out of jail free cards for champions like Senna and Tahm Kench. Then if the start of the fight doesn't go your way, next thing you know, you're getting Cataclysm and Victor ulted on multi-members, and your comp just drops.
It does look like we're going to see a fight here. This is Soul Point, and this is a soul that their comp wants. Said tries to engage here. Aurelion immediately comes down. They're stuck in a corridor. Ashe ult comes out as well. Big Cataclysm again onto both carries. Ashe is forced to flash out, but Ryze lost his last fight. He just drops.
Yeah, and we actually see a bit of a rinse and repeat. When we see these two comps stack up 5v5, what matters so much is the Jarvan Cataclysm on flashless, immobile carries. So really nice in champ select to forego champions like Graves, champions like Kindred. Just take the good old reliable Jarvan, lock him in the Cataclysm, and the rest is history.
They do take down an inhibitor tower.
As the inhib goes down. Oh, that was 2 plays ago, so never mind.
Don't worry about that one. They do open up the base. Statistically speaking, the majority of teams who get first inhibitor usually win the game. So it's looking a little grim for St. Ed's at this time. They do have picked tools, but it's starting to seem almost impossible into the Tahm Kench.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think just super solid play out of every member here from Miami, kind of putting on display how to use Aurelia mid-game to scale your late-game carries to the point where you're leaving St. Edward's optionless. But I have to give it to St. Ed's. This was not a stomp in any way, shape, or form, at least for the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, I would say for the first early phase of the game, it definitely looked like they were competing. The second half, not as much. They definitely it's gotten a little out of control now, but they did show that they have the potential to compete here in the first phase of the game. I am impressed by Miami, not just getting Aurelia. Well, really, Aurelia's lead is more or less on herself. It was a solo lead brought on by finding Shen. Victor looks for Shen here, ults right away. Looks like he's committing to get this kill. On the side here in the jungle, Ryze tries to help him out, but gets spotted out by Tahm Kench and J4, and he just realm warps right out. Unfortunately, Cataclysm wasn't dropped right away. Tom couldn't get in to either stun or consume the Ryze, so he actually just gets away.
Would have been funny to see, but yeah, we just see
it looks like they're all committing onto the Aurelia. Ashe ulti goes wide, but Sedge ulti connects, but it doesn't matter. She has too much tenacity at this point. She tries to go in 1v4, gets a kill, and looks like she will die for it.
Yeah, a bit of style work, but Victor able to follow up, and it doesn't even matter that she 1-for-1 on her tower into 4 members. So look at this follow-up.
A double EQ, and they just dropped, and I think we are looking at game.
Yeah, I think it's just on the Nexus turrets, and Miami University, right after the Nexus goes down, we'll take another look at how they close that out. As they're looking to start 1-0 in this series, and after a series win, move to 2-0 in the league here, as we expected Miami to be one of our strongest teams, giving us a look at the Senna Victor scaling comp off the back of Aurelion and some heroics by Jarvan.
Yeah, Miami definitely was the favorite in this series. So them taking game 1 makes sense. We do see a replay of the cleanup of the end of that play. Here's the beginning again with Aurelia diving in. She does trade 1-for-1 and dies, but she called her team up. They come and just clean up the rest of St. Ed's.
Yeah, if you're Aurelia, you take that all day.